Hi, I'm Dina Wakley, and usually we put paint on the gel plate with this. I want to show you how I love to use the Gel Plate Squeegee to get different effects. Dina Wakley here, ready to show you a few ways to use the Gel Plate Squeegee. So my most often use for this is I use it instead of a brayer. Why? Because you're going to get a different look of the medium on your plate. When you do your brayer, you get a very even coating. When you do the squeegee, you're going to get an imperfect coating, and it gives you awesome texture, almost like stucco on a wall. And I love the different combinations you can create. You can even make lines. See how I can pull that? And I can get marks and texture right onto the original loading of acrylic. Now with the brayer, you kind of have one option, that's smooth it all out. So with the squeegee, you can get different effects. And this is the tissue, the plain collage paper that comes in the collage pack, and it is fantastic for printing. In fact, I find it will even clean off ick. Now, notice I got that blue in my cool, funky texture that I had going on. And then I also have remnants of the metallic that I had used before. And that's another reason that from session to session, I don't want to get that plate super clean yet, because I want that residue to come up. And I find the collage tissue is almost the best substrate for cleaning the residue up. I think it's fascinating how that works. So isn't that great? Almost like peeled paint. Do you remember the peeled paint technique from years ago? I feel like that's kind of what that looks like. You can recreate peeled paint with that squeegee. I use this for gessoing also. It's really good for gessoing a whole journal page, in just a few swipes. It's flexible. It works really well. So now I'm going to kind of add a little bit more. I'm keeping it nice and imperfect. Let's lay a little bit of texture in there with a stencil. Okay. And then I'm going to print in small areas. See that? Don't necessarily need to print everything you put on the plate over the entire piece at any given time. You get to decide where that texture goes, which I really like. It's kind of nice having that small plate for that, actually. Delicious. I just love all the residue here, so what I'm going to do that on a different print and get it up before I do the next idea. Squeegee that up. So if I really want the residue to pick off, I will put a lot of paint on the plate. So I'm putting, more than I might normally put on there, getting it kind of thick. Let it sit there for a second. Ooh, I love how I'm getting that sky blue off the edge, even some metallic, that wet metallic off the edge. Magic. See, being messy has its advantages. All you clean people are like, no, it doesn't. Maybe comb a bit here or there. Okay, wipe that off of my apron. That's what your aprons are for. A little bit on the tissue. Oh, see how the residue is coming up? This tissue that's been printed, it makes the best collage paper of all time. Because when you gel medium in, anything white will disappear with that original gel, and then you get just amazing pops of color. Look, I think that's my favorite one I've done all day. Look how you can see the metallic that was stuck on the plate coming through. Very cool. So let's say I've got a print that just can't be saved, or it's frustrating me, or it needs a focal point. That's when you can turn to masking and silhouetting. I'm going to take a darker color now. I'm going to cover the whole plate with that dark color. If I wanted it to have a little texture, I could take that Gel Plate Squeegee and make some quick lines. I like that a lot. And then I'm going to take this mask. I'm going to lay it down. Try not to get paint on the back of the mask like I have. And then I'm going to take one of my prints and I'm going to print over it. Okay, so I'm going to do this one here. I'm going to flip it over And without getting paint on the back of there, I'm going to just give it a good burnish. And there, that almost looks like it has a face in it. How cool is that? And so then that masking reduces the chaos of any background that you have, and you end up with a really cool print through the mask. So any mask works. The silhouettes are especially fun. I'm just cleaning up. I'm using this as a mop up, this piece here. I'm cleaning up my bits. We'll tell you, so after I've done this and I've printed all day and I avoided my laundry and forgotten to pick my children up from school, true story, if I want to really get this clean for the next day, here's my little tip. Load it up with whatever you feel like putting on it. Maybe we'll do some layering, maybe a little bit of texture. Here's the thing though, you need it to be covered in paint. I want there to be a good fair amount of paint on there, thicker than normal. You see how it's getting cleaner and cleaner as I go? This is the way to clean it up all the way without having to scrub it for hours. Okay, so I've got some paint on there. Let's put some more texture since I kind of got rid of it. Sweet. Now, you're going to grab your journal. And this works really well on the craft paper in your journal. You're going to pick this up. What's cool is when you look through the bottom, you can see what your print's going to look like. You lay it down and go to bed. You can close the journal if you want and give it a press, but I don't. I just leave it like that on my desk. I go to bed. In the morning, when that paint is dry, you're going to pick that off and your plate will be remarkably clean. So that's my little tip. That's pretty much the only cleaning I do. And that's going to be a great background to begin on a journal page. So I hope you got some ideas with squeegee and silhouetting. Can't wait to see what you make.